Hi, hello, I'm Amy. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I have another book haul for you. I think I might have mentioned in the last video that there were a couple of books that I still wanted to get from Barnes Noble and that I wanted to go to the other local bookstore that we have in town called Bonsai Books. Unfortunately, they are closing at the end of this year, I believe at the end of October. But I still wanted to go and visit and check them out, so I did that. And since I had an hour to kill between when I dropped my daughter off for a school band event, I had time to go to Barnes Noble first. So I have some books from Bonsai Books, from Barnes Noble, and then I also have some candles. They're not really books, but I thought I would share them anyway because I do like candles and I thought it would be fun to share them. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Bonsai Books haul that I got. So I picked up quite a few, and I'm kind of sad that they're closing because it's a really cute little shop. They do coffee. I didn't get any, but yeah, it was a cute little shop. So the first one I got is this mystery wrapped book, which I think is really cute, and I wish that more bookstores would do this, even though, again, with the mystery packages, you do run the risk of either not being interested in the book once you get it opened, or possibly already owning it. So hopefully this is one that I don't already own. It says, "Just trust us, spicy friends to lovers." And I don't know what the PB is for. Maybe it's the initials of the person who picked it out. But you've got this cute little sticker. I'll see if I can share it. I like my books dark, filthy, and smutty. Might be fun for a book journal. And then this really cute, it almost looks like a calendar sticker with the little coffee cup and the flowers, and a Bonsai book sticker, which is really cute. Let me go ahead and untie this so we can get to the book. Oh, that's cool. So it comes with, I think it's, yeah, green tea. Of course, this other little sticker, I'm going to pull it off, that is on there with some tape. And this cute little Bonsai Books sticker. Maybe can't really focus on the letters, but that's alright. We have a reading tracker bookmark. Another reading tracker bookmark. I actually have some that are similar to this. A reading list. That's cute. Oh, it's even got a little magnetic bookmark. Kind of plain, but it's still cute. And a purple pen. I'll have to check that one out. Smut, noun. S-M-E-T. Smet. Obscene or lascivious. Talk, writing, or pictures. That's the other sticker. So you get 4 stickers. I'm taking way longer on this than I was expecting to, but it is a really cute package. I don't want to mess up the stickers, so I'm going to pull those off really quick. Anything. Okay. Let's see what we got. First, Molly McAdams, Letting Go. Another romance we simply cannot miss. A.L. Jackson. Maybe. When Gray and Ben fell in love at 13, they believed they'd be together forever. They never dreamed that 3 days before their wedding, 23-year-old Ben would suddenly die from an unknown heart condition, destroying his would-be bride's world. Gray would have spent the next 2 years simply going through the motions if it hadn't been for their best friend Jaeger. Maybe Jaeger. He's the only one who understands her pain, the only one who knows what it's like to force yourself to keep moving when your dreams are shattered. It sounds interesting. I will give it a shot. I'm not usually one for contemporary romances, but I do read a few. So that is our first book. And then this one is This Woven Kingdom by Tahera Mafi. Forbidden romance steams up the pages of this Persian mythology-inspired fantasy series opener in a luxurious, saffron-scented world where devils whisper unwelcome prophecies and princes fall in love with ice-eyed jinn. Hopeless romantics will relish the euphoric agony of anticipation as they watch these fated lovers sort through their feelings. But while Eliza and Cameron's relationship develops, Mafi treats readers to sumptuous world building. Mafi's story expands deliberately, each small revelation rising from one before, delivering deeply satisfying epiphanies at the end of each chapter. The wait for a return ticket to this exquisite kingdom is made bearable only by flipping to the front and repeating your first visit. I have seen a couple of reviews on this one, and it sounds interesting. I do like Tahera Mafi's writing, so I will give this one a try. Next I have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have read at least 2 of the Inheritance Games books, and I did enjoy these, or enjoy those. This one, I guess, is really popular right now, and it's to catch a serial killer. You have to think like one, so that sounds intriguing. We've got 17-year-old Cassie Hobbs is a natural at reading people. Piecing together the tiniest details, she can tell you who you are and what you want, but it's not a skill that she's ever taken seriously. That is until the FBI comes knocking. They've begun a classified program that uses exceptional teenagers to crack infamous cold cases, and they need Cassie. So that does sound interesting. I really have been in the mood for more mystery type thrillers. I think this one's YA, but that one's The Naturals. And then I have 2 from the same series. I have read Powerless, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to get a couple of them. I don't own any of them, but I did read Powerless. It was pretty good. It wasn't my absolute favorite. I know it gets compared to the Hunger Games, but with magic, I'm not sure I entirely agree with that, other than the competition that's in it. But yeah, these were, pretty much everything in the store was on sale, so I went ahead and got those. Took the opportunity to get a cheaper price, possibly. And then this one is Valor by John Gwynne, the second book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I have the first one. I haven't read it yet, so hopefully I enjoy it. I know this is a really popular series, and I don't have any other thoughts on that one. I won't read the synopsis for this one since it is the second book in a series. And then this is another one that has intrigued me for a while. I just haven't picked it up yet. Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. Let me check this one. So we've got a wicked prince determined to save his kingdom. Gabriel Axton, infamous as the Prince of Gluttony. The self-proclaimed rake of rakes has always lived for indulgence, in delicious food, in tantalizing women, and most of all in the thrill of the hunt, where his love of danger can take over. But when his favorite adventure takes a deadly turn, he realizes something is very wrong in his demon court. With the clock ticking, he must turn to the only one who might uncover the truth, a journalist he has spent a decade avoiding. So that one sounds interesting. I'm excited to try that one out. And that's all I got from the Bonsai Bookstore. If I'm gonna try and put up their open hours through the end of October that they had posted. So if you are in the area, perhaps go give them a look. And let me go ahead and get into the Barnes Nobel books that I got. First up is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. We have Piranesi's house is no ordinary building. Its rooms are infinite, its quarters endless, its walls lined with thousands upon thousands of statues. Within the labyrinth of halls, an ocean is imprisoned. Waves thunder up staircases. Rooms are flooded in an instant, but Piranesi is not afraid. He understands the tides as he understands the pattern of the labyrinth itself. He lives to explore the house. There's one other person in the house, the man called Other, who visits Piranesi twice a week. I can't talk. And asks for help with research to a great and secret knowledge. But as Piranesi explores, evidence emerges of another person, and a terrible truth begins to unravel, revealing a world beyond the one Piranesi has always known. This one reminds me of another book that I had in my favorites video. I'll try and put that cover up. I think it's by James Stewart. I could be completely wrong. But this one sounds interesting, and I know it's on a lot of people's favorites lists. So I'm excited to finally get to that one at some point. Add it to my TBR. And then next I have The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I don't know a whole lot about this one other than it's obviously magical, and I do like the Mexican Gothic book by the same author. So we have back then, when I was a young woman, there were still witches. That was how Nana Alba always began the stories she told her great-granddaughter, Minerva. Stories that have stayed with Minerva all her life. Perhaps that's why Minerva has become a graduate student focused on the history of horror literature and is researching the life of Beatrice Tremblay, an obscure author of macabre tales. There's quite a bit more to the synopsis, but that was enough to catch my attention. So we have The Bewitching. And then next is another author that actually I don't know if I've read anything by this author. It's Isabel Cañas. It's The Possession of Alba Diaz. And in this one, in 1765, plague sweeps through Zacatecas. Alba flees with her wealthy merchant parents and fiancé, Carlos, to his family's isolated mine for refuge. But safety proves fleeting as other dangers soon bare their teeth. Alba begins suffering from strange hallucinations, sleepwalking, and violent convulsions. She senses something cold leaking beneath her skin, something angry, something wrong. So this sounds like it would be perfect for the spooky season, and I'm excited to add that one to my TBR. The next one I've recently seen come up on my social media feeds. I believe it's a newer book, but it's Alchemized by Sinlin Yu. I was immediately intrigued by the cover and by the premise, so I'm excited to get to this one also. Once a promising alchemist, Helena Moreno is now a prisoner of war and of her own mind. Her resistance friends and allies have been brutally murdered, her abilities suppressed, and the world she knew destroyed. In the aftermath of a long war, Palladia's new ruling class of corrupt guild families and depraved necromancers whose vile undead creatures helped bring about their victory holds Helena captive. It's quite a big book, and it's actually quite heavy too. But I like alchemy and I like necromancy in my books, so that one sounds good also for the spooky season. Another good one for the spooky season, I think, is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I usually have mixed feelings about Grady Hendrix's books, but this one sounded like it would be good for this season, and I did enjoy, I think it's the only one left that I read recently. I think going into his books without a certain expectation is always good. So this one is 15-year-old Fern arrives at the home in the sweltering summer of 1970, pregnant, frightened, and alone. Under the watchful eye of the stern Miss Wellwood, she meets a dozen other girls in the same predicament. There's Rose, a hippie who insists she's going to find a way to keep her baby and escape to a commune, and Zinnia, a budding musician who plans to marry her baby's father, and Holly, a wisp of a girl barely 14, mute and pregnant, and no one knows who. Everything the girls eat, every moment of their waking day, and everything they're allowed to talk about is strictly controlled by the adults who claim they know what's best for them. Then Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft, and power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. But power can destroy as easily as it creates, and it's never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. So that definitely sounds interesting. Hopefully this one will be good. My stack is getting quite tall. When I first saw this, I wasn't sure if I was super interested in it, but it's Wild Reference by Rebecca Ross. But I have seen a few reviews on this lately, and it did intrigue me more the more I heard about it. So we've just reading the back instead of the synopsis. I felt the tug toward him again, as if I stood on a shore at high tide. I was far from him, sitting in another realm, and yet I could not parse what was magic and what was my heart. I would know she was near, even in the darkness, and I had never desired to be a god, to wield power as one. But in that moment, I longed to halt time. So that, I believe it's a romantasy, and it does sound interesting. So I'll add this one to my TBR also. So that is it for the books, and that's plenty. I do not plan on visiting a bookstore anytime soon in the foreseeable future. That's always subject of change, of course. But next I have a couple of boxes. They shipped my order in 2 different boxes. I'm going to try not to show the shipping label. So I have a couple of candles. Smells good. And these are from Yankee Candle. We visited a shop in another city that's like a half an hour, 45 minutes away. And since then I've ordered them a few times. This one is Apothecary Potions, blackberry and black tea. It does smell really good, and I thought that would be cute for the spooky season. Apothecary candle. I'm a sucker for candles. I've actually been trying to use them a lot more since I like to buy them, but I don't always burn them. It looks like I got more than I did. At least I hope so. Pull all of these out, and then I will open them. Okay. Okay, so I have a spiced pumpkin car jar, so air freshener for my car. Spiced pumpkin. Of course you guys can't smell it, but hopefully this one. Oh, it definitely smells like pumpkin spice. Perfect for the season. Oh yeah, that smells really good. Not sponsored, of course. Just something that I like to get every once in a while. I only order from them maybe once or twice a year. And this one is perfect for the spooky season, and it's also kind of book related. It's the Phantom Bookshop. Very cute. And this one is rose and vanilla parchment. It's just a really light kind of fresh scent, so that's nice. I might like this one for my next video that I want to film. Oh, I've got 2 little candles. I didn't want to get a bunch of big ones. Oh, this one's cute. Mystic Toys. I don't know if you can see that very well. Maybe. Cute little bunny. This one is, I'm not sure what the scents are for this one. That's a cute little, better picture. The box. Maybe it says on the bottom. I think it said when on the listing, but it's just a really light scent, which is nice. Nothing too overpowering. Nothing that's going to give me a headache if I burn it. And then this one is Spooky Sweets. A little bit there. A little ghosty. Kind of hard to see because the pictures are small. Open this one up. Maybe. They've got kind of a glue on the bottom, so it makes it, oh, on the side. Oh, this one's really nice too. Spooky Sweets. And it does smell sweet, but it's still just kind of a light scent. So those are fun. I'm excited to use those. But that is all that I have for this haul, which is not a small amount. I'm not going to try and pick this up, but I'll just kind of turn them sideways. And let me know if you've read any of these, if you've heard of any of them. Hopefully I gave a good enough description of them in case you guys are interested in any of them. What books have you gotten for this spooky season? Or, well, I guess spooky season might be over by the time I post this video, but what books have you hauled recently? Let's chat below, and we'll see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.